Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We're reaching you live from Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Thank you for joining us. Let's begin with the headlines. Pledges continuous ties with Asian giants to improve developments across sectors. Local government autonomy, Senate to counter attempts to circumvent Supreme Court's judgments through constitution amendments. And House of Representatives advocates efficient justice delivery system. We'll begin with bilateral relations. At the State House, the federal government says it will continue to strengthen ties with Japan as part of measures to deepen trade and exploit more opportunities in infrastructural developments, food security and healthcare. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the assurance when a delegation of the Japanese government led by the outgoing ambassador of Japan to Nigeria, Matsunaga Kazuyoshi, and the president of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, Tanaka Ahihiko, paid him a visit at the presidential villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrilla reports.
Assuring the Japanese government of enhanced cooperation with the federal government as well as resolving all grey areas involving bilateral relations between the two nations, Vice President Kashim Shettima commended the outgoing ambassador for doing an outstanding job in anchoring the relationship between the two nations, noting that the presence of key actors in the administration of President Tinubu accentuated the importance Nigeria attaches to its relationship with Japanese International Development Agency, commending JICA for its commitment towards strengthening the ties between Nigeria and Japan through its contributions to the development across critical sectors of the economy, especially JICA's donation of a grant of 1.7 billion yen to the Nigerian Center for Disease Control to strengthen the center's diagnostic capacity. Vice President Shettima also acknowledged JICA's assistance in polio eradication, which he said helped Nigeria to achieve polio-free status in 2020. The president of JICA sympathized with Nigeria over the flood that recently caused damage to many communities and deaths, especially in Maiduguri, Borno State, saying the sympathy is special because Japan has been a victim of natural disasters. The outgoing ambassador disclosed that Japanese government has paid great attention to the partnership with Nigeria and used the opportunity of the visit to strengthen the bilateral relationship between both countries.
Our area of collaboration covers widely, but we need to make lots of efforts in health and medical sciences, encouragement of startups and in manufacturing, and power transmission in energy sector, and agricultural development. And so these are major areas that we agree to promote in the coming years.
Japan and Nigeria. Next year, we will host the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD 9 in Tokyo. We will invite all African leaders and the private sector leader too, in order to strengthen our relationship between Japan and Africa. So today is a very good timing to have the president of JICA and also to discuss variety of the project and how we can expand our cooperation in the future.
The project is instrumental in elevating the Nigerian ports to meet international standards, extending their gratitude to Nigeria and its citizens for understanding, supporting and allowing JICA to participate in development projects in the country, as they have also visited the Nigerian Information Technology Center and met with Nigerian engineers and entrepreneurs and were impressed with their ingenuity and level of creativity, stressing that it has formed the basis of collaboration with JICA. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Justice delayed is justice denied, they say. This was re-echoed at the House of Representatives when lawmakers called for an efficient justice delivery system that works for all Nigerians. This resolution of the House followed a motion on the floor seeking public hearings towards addressing perceived delays in justice delivery in the country. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikpen reports.
The judiciary is said to be the hope of the common man, providing a platform for marginalized voices to be heard and relief against oppression. Lawmakers at plenary call attention to the need to boost and not erode public confidence on the nation's judiciary.
In some states of the Federation, cases at the High Court, which by their nature ought to be dispensed with within months, last between 4 to 5 years before judgment is delivered.
Of the number of persons in our correctional facilities, I can say that over 60 to 70% are people who are awaiting trial.
The public hearing of the Constitution Review should prioritize this issue that have been deliberated firmly by the House.
To address food crisis in the country, the House advocates implementation of the Export Prohibition Act to ensure food availability and reduce cost of living for Nigerians.
The failure to implement the said legislation over time has led to severe food shortages, high food prices, increased food insecurity, and the loss of revenue for farmers and the federal government.
Lawmakers frowned at incessant cases of building collapse in the country.
We are concerned about these challenges as it affects us as a nation. My prayer is to mandate the Ministry of Works Committee to ascertain the causes and report back to the House within 4 weeks for further legislative action.
The new American ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Mills, was the guest of Speaker Tajuddin Abbas. They called for stronger ties between Nigeria and the United States.
More deeper cooperations, more mutually beneficial relationship. I have no doubt in my mind you are the right man coming at the right moment.
I really very much in my first months here wanted to have a chance to talk to the Speaker about his priorities, about the priorities of the House.
The Speaker assured the envoy of the support of Nigeria's legislature in his assignment. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Let's take you to Plateau State now, and as the collation of votes of the Plateau State local government elections begin, stakeholders are applauding the smooth conduct of the exercise across the state. Let's get more on this from Ndinyang Andiabagyang.
Which held in the 17 local government areas of the state were closely monitored by stakeholders.
Very impressive. We have gone to several polling units. First of all, we started with the collation centers before they started sharing the materials. And the turnout has been encouraging so far from what we've seen, and then voting has taken place. The only little challenge we've seen so far is the fact that some of the apps had not started working at the time, and they were waiting for the technicians to come and help. But so far, everything has been going on very smoothly, and it's very impressive.
So from Barrick and Ladi down to Jos South and Jos North, where I had the privilege of visiting, I've seen a good turnout of people. Yes, the election did not start early in most places because of late arrival of plastic officials and material. And then there's issues with the use of the app. But I'm happy that instruction was clearly given that they should use the manual register, and that has happened. And I'm happy to see that the plastic officials are very sensitive to persons with disability, to elderly persons, and to women.
For Plasec, the conduct of voters has encouraged management to improve on its performance in future exercise, describing as rewarding the sensitization carried out prior to the exercise.
We have received tremendous support from the security agencies, Plateau Advisory Consultative on election process. We are so grateful.
No case of violence was reported in all the polling units visited, a demonstration of maturity and patriotism. Meanwhile, results of the exercise are being expected as collation begins. In Jos, Indenyan, and the Abuja, NTA News.
Now, cybercrime is a threat that requires collective responses. It is therefore essential for everyone to be aware of this evolving threat. These are the views of the Inspector General of Police, who delivered his message through the DIG Balachiroma at the 2024 Cybersecurity Awareness Campaign in Abuja. Francis Fom reports.
It is a gathering of stakeholders in the cybersecurity and private sector brought together by the Nigeria Police Force National Cybercrime Center in commemoration of the 2024 Cybersecurity Awareness Campaign Week to share knowledge, expertise, and experience to counter the growing threats of cybersecurity in the country.
Over the past years, we have enhanced our investigative capabilities, invested in advanced technologies, such that the MPF-NCCC has evolved into a national entity, becoming the central hub for addressing cyber-enabled crimes.
In an era dominated by digital economy and technology, securing cyberspace is now inseparable from securing the physical world.
Your collaboration and support are essential to ensure that our national cybersecurity strategy is comprehensive and, of course, effective.
No one agency can fight this menace because it's a whole there, because we see thousands and thousands of cases.
With the theme, Secure Our World, the 2024 Cybersecurity Awareness Campaign Week hope to build a secure digital environment where Nigeria is prepared to meet the challenges of the future. Francis from NTA News.
And a bit more on electoral matters. The youth-led electoral reform project, championed by an election observer group, Kimpact Development Initiative, has urged the National Assembly to prioritise constitutional and electoral reforms. Timothy Yusuf reports that the call for reforms comes amid mixed feelings with Nigeria's electoral processes in some recent elections.
Begins incredible elections towards fostering good governance and meeting the developmental needs of Nigerians informed this gathering, which resulted in a nationwide survey by Kimpact Development Initiative, revealing that 57% of over 4,300 youth participants were dissatisfied with the electoral process in the 2023 elections. 94% agreed that urgent reforms are essential to restore more public trust in Nigeria's democracy.
Oftentimes, we see the negative stereotypes that young persons are involved in violence, but now the young persons are saying, no, we also need accountability in this process so that we do not subscribe to the generic statement that young persons are the one fomenting trouble. Young persons are saying, conclude all post-election disputes before inauguration to ensure stability and fairness. That is the second recommendation from the young persons in Nigeria.
The youth-led electoral reform project campaign, supported by the National Democratic Institute and the National Endowment for Democracy, has engaged more than 400 youth leaders, political party representatives, entrepreneurs, social and cultural group members, out of which 87 recommendations were consolidated into 5 key electoral reform priorities. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Now, the National Human Rights Commission has presented its 9th edition of the Human Rights Violations Dashboard for the month of September. Omenka Amarachuku reports that the dashboard highlights the Commission's commitment to transparency and accountability, showcasing the complaints and violations recorded during the month of September. A total of 305,000 complaints were recorded for the month of September.
Each complaint represents a person whose rights and dignity are at stake. We must approach our work with compassion and reason, ensuring that we are not only identifying issues, but also actively seeking solutions for every individual in Nigeria to enjoy the full spectrum of their human rights, freedom from fear and oppression.
The human rights violation data continues to rise. We wish this is one data that we wouldn't want to grow, but unfortunately it keeps growing. However, we have also recorded some downside, especially as regards the killing of law enforcement for the month of September 2024. So
The reports also show that the violations against non-state actors was at the top of the chart. All right, earlier we told you about the developments in Jos Plateau State with regards to local government elections. Joining us now, live from Jos, we have Caleb Gochin to give us an update on how things have progressed. Hello, Caleb. Just tell us what can you say about the voting, the collation process, and where we are at the moment.
Thank you very much, Kenneth. We're having some challenges with the network here, but I'm sure you can hear me. The elections, local government elections in Plateau State went on smoothly. We had interaction with major stakeholders yesterday, and almost everywhere the exercise went on fine. Apart from very few challenges here and there, of the VVS, what the State Electoral Commission did was to introduce this system called VVS. But then it worked in almost all of the polling units, except in very few. So at the end of the day, they had to go back to manual, checking of the voters. But generally, everything went on very, very smoothly. For now, we are here at the PLASEC office. The results are being awaited, but we learn 5 local government areas have concluded theirs. Local governments of Barkin Ladi, Bassa, Mikang, Riom, and Shendam have come with their results. So those are the 5 local governments out of the 17 that have completed the collation, and their results are here presently. But so far, so good.
Many thanks, Caleb, for giving us the updates from there in Jos. We'll come back to you as things continue to develop. Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you.
All right, let's get some stories from the business sector. Nigeria Customs Services partner international organizations to enhance trade facilitation through extensive deliberations on post-clearance audits. Let's now join Kunle Adeyeye for details.
The Nigeria Customs Service is collaborating with the World Customs Organization, the World Bank Group, and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) to broaden its horizon on post-clearance audit to enhance its trade facilitation drive. At an event in Abuja, Comptroller General of Customs Adewale Adeniyi emphasized that the peer review exercise is essential for establishing a robust post-clearance audit which will ultimately complement the authorized economic operator program, remarking that both initiatives are critical to strengthening the compliance framework and advancing the trade facilitation effort of the service. He also highlighted that the ability to conduct effective post-clearance audits enables the service to detect and prevent commercial fraud, recover lost revenue, and enhance trade facilitation. The Comptroller General equally disclosed that a strong post-clearance audit framework fosters a secure trading environment, ultimately facilitating smoother international trade. The Chief Custodian of Borders said Searchlight will also be beamed on risk management, targeting, developing data-driven methodologies to identify risk transactions, creating detailed audit plans for effective execution, capacity building leveraging international expertise and technology. With Business News, I'm Kunle Adeyeye.
And in other news, transforming Nigeria's justice system and addressing the challenges faced by children in conflict with the law remains a critical issue that demands urgent attention. With countless children and young adults incarcerated in correctional facilities nationwide, experts are calling for a rethink of the approach to juvenile justice. Vivian Izadife, who witnessed the unveiling of an assessment on the situation of children and young adults deprived of their liberty in Nigeria, now reports.
It's believed that a child-sensitive justice system that emphasizes prevention and rehabilitation is crucial to reducing juvenile incarceration. Stakeholders are advocating for alternative solutions that prioritize the well-being of young people over imprisonment.
Aware by Legal Aid Act 2011 to provide free and qualitative legal services to indigent Nigerians. Basically, this is the function for which the council was set up.
And young adults in conflict with the law. This event is important and also strategic as it aims at improving the juvenile justice system as well as criminal justice as a whole.
The figure in this report represents a child whose life is at risk of being defined by punishment instead of opportunity and support for reintegration.
Children and juvenile justice, particularly, should be reviewed. And I think focus should be on Chapter 2, Sub 2 of the Constitution. There should also be legal framework harmonization in prisons, or rather at the police station, which is the first point of contact.
Children, as we all know, represent the future of any society. Therefore, they require systems and institutions that protect and preserve their interests as they journey through different developmental processes.
The Minister of Interior recently...
All right, earlier we brought you reports from the National Assembly on issues with regards to local government autonomy. And joining me now in the studio, we have a distinguished Senator, Tony Nuye, who was among those who deliberated on the issue at yesterday's plenary. Distinguished, you're very welcome to
Thank you.
User 10.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, so like I said, you were one of those who moved this motion yesterday.
I'm the main sponsor.
Main sponsor.
Other 10 senators are co-sponsors.
Well, co-sponsors.
Of the motion.
All right, you are. Okay, basically we're talking about the attempts by certain state governments to circumvent the Supreme Court judgment.
Just like my state, Anambra, has already passed a law 2 days ago.
Right, so
to circumvent it.
So just give us the crux of this issue with regards to your deliberations.
Well, the crux of our deliberation is that there is constitutional provision, I think section 287 of 1999 Constitution, that says every organs of government, every court in Nigeria, all the statutes, all the bodies are duty bound to obey the judgment of Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court being a policy court, their decision is final in Nigeria. You can only complain to God, or else it comes by a review if they feel that they have done what we call per incuriam, that is by error. Now, this matter is very simple. You agree with me that more than 20-something years ago, that the most of the local governments in Nigeria have been stifled, they have been choked up, they are going to oblivion because few governors are siphoning their money. Some of them are not doing that, like the former governor of Niger State, Senator Bello, who was the governor for 8 years, said yesterday that he never touched local government funds. For 8 years, he was the governor. But few of them are siphoning the money for their personal use, for reasons, diverting it for their selfish interests. So the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, through the mentality of Attorney General Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, came to rescue of Nigerians by instituting this action on May 26, 2024, and on July 11, 2024, full panel of Supreme Court justices led by Garba Lawal, Justice of Supreme Court. There were 7 of them Justice Abiru, Justice Shomayi Emonwosu, Justice Emmanuel Agim, Justice Adume Mo, and so on and so on. 7 of them, full panel, gave this judgment. And the word judgment is watertight. They now, in the judgment, they made mention, from page 28 of the judgment, they made mention that why there was that provision, section 162, subsection 6, which the governors are using as a lacuna to siphon the money. Not all of them, anyway, few of them. Is because before 1999 era, that the local government chairman, 774, used to come to Abuja to collect the checks for them, for their monthly allocation, vis-a-vis coming from traditional accounts. But they now said, the framers of 1999 Constitution felt that it was cumbersome, logistic work for them to come to Abuja every month to collect the check. They now created that constitution, that state joint account, so that once the money comes there, they will give them their money. But that is not the case. Yeah. So Supreme Court now said, no, that is not the intendment. Because the 36 state governors filed their defense and now use that section 162, subsection 6 as a excuse, say there's a provision. Supreme Court said, no, that is not the intendment. Yeah.
All right, so our time is fast running out, but I need to ask you this as well. When are we expecting this process to be finalized and be ultimately implemented to...
It has been finalized now.
Okay.
This is a final court, right. But what they're doing now is not. But
in terms of the constitutional amendments.
Supreme Court constitutional amendments are on another issue. Yeah. An issue of conduct of local government election for federal INEC to do. That is the issue of constitutional amendment. But right now, there's nothing to amend about that finances. Supreme Court has said, this is what the constitution... They want to interpret the constitution. They have said, don't touch the money. In fact, let me tell you, Supreme Court even saw tomorrow. They know that after that judgment, that some state assembly, through the instrumentality of governor, a few of the governors pressurize them, go and pass these obnoxious laws again to collect the money. That they say, no law. Page 33, no law of state assembly will ever encourage or for any state government or anything they create, they are privy to touch this money again. It's a very clear,
absolutely
unambiguous. So it's criminal, let me tell you. Anybody saying go to court, constitutional amendment or what, is on other issues, not on this money.
Absolutely.
Because Supreme Court has given final judgment to. So anybody doing, any local government chairman in Nigeria,
exercise in futility,
that gives this money to any state joint account or anything, is going to face the security agencies.
Our time is up. Distinguished Senator Tony Nwoye, Anambra North Senatorial District, many thanks for talking to us on this issue, and no doubt the public are definitely commending the Senate for this stance. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And with that, we conclude the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunle.
Thank you.